Hi, I'm Rachel, a 32-year-old mother who's been through more family drama than most people should have to endure. Before I dive into my story, remember to like and subscribe for more real-life tales from the chaotic world of family dynamics. Here's how it all started. When I married Tom, I didn't just gain a husband. I inherited a whirlwind in the form of my mother-in-law, Linda. From day one, Linda made it clear she thought I wasn't good enough for her son. She had an uncanny ability to walk into a room and instantly drain the joy with her unsolicited advice and constant critiques. Rachel, don't you think Lily needs more structured playtime? You're too lenient with her upbringing, Linda would say, as if my parenting required her approval. And Tom, he would just nod along, never once standing up for me. One sunny Tuesday, I decided to redecorate Lily's room. I thought light lavender walls might brighten it up. As I laid out the paint samples, Linda walked in, her eyebrows raised as if she had just smelled something foul. That color is all wrong. Too cold for a child. You're not seriously considering it, are you? She scoffed, not waiting for my response before turning to Tom. Tell her she's making a mistake, she demanded. And, as usual, Tom mumbled, Mom might be right. It wasn't just her words. It was her constant presence, always hovering, always there. Dinner times were the worst. I'd spend hours preparing something special, only for Linda to scrutinize it like a judge at a cooking competition. This needs more salt. Honestly, Rachel, how hard is it to season properly? She would criticize, while Tom quietly ate, never uttering a complaint unless his mother prompted him. Then came Lily's upcoming birthday. It was supposed to be a simple celebration, but Linda had other ideas. You know, a proper party would have real entertainment, not just homemade games. Shall I hire a magician? She suggested, dialing her phone before I could even respond. Now, Linda, I've got it covered. I tried to intervene, but the icy look she shot me could have curdled milk. It's settled. Kids need something memorable, she said, ending the call and leaving me fuming in silence. Tom, as usual, just stood by, his voice barely audible. Maybe it's for the best. Rachel, Mom knows a lot of people. The day before Lily's birthday, I overheard Linda on the phone bragging about how she had to step in to save the day from my underwhelming plans. Tears stung my eyes, not just from anger but from a deep, growing despair. How much longer could I let this go on? How long before my daughter started to believe Linda's words over mine? That night, I turned to Tom in bed. Do you even hear how she speaks to me? To us, I pleaded, hoping he would finally see sense. Rachel, she's just trying to help. Maybe you're taking things too personally, he sighed, turning away and closing the conversation, leaving me wide awake with a heart full of wounds. As I lay there, the moon casting shadows across our room, I knew something had to change. This wasn't just about a birthday, it was about my life, my daughter's happiness, and the peace of our home. The storm Linda had brought into our lives was about to meet a quiet strength it had underestimated. Tomorrow, on Lily's birthday, I would stand up for myself, for Lily, and for our little family that deserves so much more. The morning of Lily's 5th birthday dawned crisp and bright, just the glimmer of hope I needed to follow through with my plans. I was up early, whisking batter and slicing strawberries, the kitchen filled with the sweet scent of anticipation. Today was about making it perfect for Lily. I arranged heart-shaped pancakes on a platter, the blueberries sparkling like little sapphires next to the golden, fluffy cakes. Mommy, is that for me? Lily's tiny voice broke the morning silence as she padded into the kitchen, her eyes wide with excitement. All for you, birthday girl, I said, kissing her forehead and setting her down at the table. Just then, the kitchen door swung open with a thud, and in stormed Linda, her face already twisted in disapproval. She didn't even greet Lily, just marched straight to the counter where the birthday breakfast lay. This is what you've made? Honestly, Rachel, this won't do at all. Linda's voice was sharp, cutting through the morning warmth like a cold breeze. I felt Lily's small hand squeeze mine, her joy dimming. But Grandma, I love Mommy's pancakes, Lily said softly, her eyes wide with confusion. No, darling, you deserve better, something grand, not this homemade mess, Linda declared. Before I could react, she scooped up the plates and dumped them into the trash. The sound of my efforts crashing into the bin echoed painfully in the kitchen. Linda, what are you doing? It's her birthday, I exclaimed, trying to keep the tremor out of my voice as my hands balled into fists. Linda eyed the trash with a sense of satisfaction. It's settled, she said coolly. Just then, the door swung open, and Tom walked in, his expression a mix of bewilderment and concern. What's going on here? Your mother just threw out Lily's birthday breakfast, I said, my voice trembling with disbelief and anger. Tom, why is she doing this? Tom looked from me to Linda, the conflict evident in his eyes. Mom, why would you do that? He asked, frustration evident in his tone. It wasn't suitable. I'm just looking out for Lily, Linda replied dismissively, her tone cold. This was important to us, to Lily. You can't just barge in and... Tom cut me off, his voice taking on a tone of finality. Let's just get through the day. I watched as Tom faltered, his resolve melting under his mother's expectant gaze. Rachel, maybe Mom's right, let's just order in and avoid the fuss. I stared at him, my heart sinking. Lily tugged at my sleeve, her little face crumpled with confusion and hurt. Mommy, why did Grandma throw my pancakes away? Sweetie, How do you explain to your child that her grandmother values control over her happiness? Tom, this is your daughter's birthday. Your mother can't just... Rachel, let's not make this a big deal, okay? Let's just get through the day, Tom said, his voice weary and pleading. In that moment, it became clear, this wasn't just about pancakes or birthdays, it was about respect, about Lily growing up thinking this was normal. No, Tom, it's always let's just get through the day. When do we start living for us, for Lily? When do you stand up for your family? Tom hesitated, his eyes darting between me and Linda. I am standing up for my family. No, Tom, you're letting your mother walk all over us, I said, my voice rising, each word sharper than the last. Rachel, you're blowing this out of proportion. Am I, or have I just had enough? Clarity burned fiercely within me. Linda, you need to leave now. Linda scoffed, turning to Tom. Are you going to let her kick me out? Tom's response was weak. Mom, maybe you should go. No, Tom, not maybe. You need to choose. You can go with her if you want, but this, I gestured toward the trash, breakfast, Lily, and I can't live like this. The room fell silent, broken only by Lily's soft sniffling. The line had been drawn. Today, I was reclaiming our lives. The morning's warmth had turned to a cold, heavy silence. I moved through it, picking up Linda's belongings scattered around. Each step was a deliberate act, not just cleaning up after breakfast, but clearing out years of suppressed frustrations and sorrow. Rachel, are you sure about this? Maybe we can talk it out. Tom's voice trailed behind me, filled with desperation. Talk it out? Like all those other times? No, Tom, this is happening. My hands were steady as I packed Linda's bags. The clarity from my earlier decision sharpened with each folded sweater and tucked away toiletry. You're making a mistake, Rachel. You're overreacting, Linda's voice cut from the doorway, harsh and unyielding. I zipped up the last bag and faced them both. I'm making a choice for my daughter, for me. Lily deserves peace in her own home, and so do I. The cab idled outside, the driver glancing at the house and then back at his phone. I grabbed Linda's suitcase, the wheels thudding against each step as I dragged it to the door. Tom, please think about Lily. We can fix this, but not with her here. My final plea was for the man I thought I knew, the one I believed would stand by his family. You're choosing her over your own wife and daughter, I said, my voice cracking. Your responsibility was to your wife and child first. I handed Linda her bag. Her sneer tried to mask the shock in her eyes. You'll regret this, she hissed, her words slipping through clenched teeth as she stepped into the cab. I already regret not doing it sooner, I said, shutting the door on her glare and turning to face Tom. His figure was slumped, torn, but his choice became clear when he grabbed his coat. Tom, if you walk out that door, you don't come back. His pause was the last shred of hope fluttering to the floor. I'm sorry, Rachel. I hope one day you'll understand. With that, he stepped out the door, closing softly behind him as if even it couldn't bear to make a sound. The finality wasn't a slam but a soft click that echoed loudly in the suddenly empty house. Left alone, the silence was no longer oppressive but filled with possibilities. I scooped Lily into my arms, her small body clinging to mine. It's just us now, baby. Just us, but we'll be okay. Mommy, yes, just us now, and that's enough. We're enough. I kissed her forehead, her trust in me strengthening my resolve. I walked through our home, each room a testament to a life I was ready to leave behind. My reflection in the mirror showed a woman changed, not broken, but rebuilding. Lily's hand in mine was a reminder of why this had to happen. That night, as I tucked Lily into bed, her room finally reflecting the tranquility we deserved, I promised her brighter days ahead. Her soft, rhythmic snores were a comforting counterpoint to the day's harshness. As I sat there watching her sleep, the weight of my choices draped over me like a heavy cloak. I knew the path forward would be challenging, facing community whispers, sympathetic stares, and the loneliness that often accompanies single motherhood. But as I turned off Lily's light, a quiet affirmation filled the room: we are enough. Life as a single mom quickly settled into a routine of resilience and discovery. Lily's laughter became the soundtrack of our new life, filling spaces that once echoed with tension. Yet, new beginnings brought new challenges, especially the legal complexities of our separation. I just want what's best for Lily, I explained over the phone to my lawyer, the papers spread out across the kitchen table. He can see her, but it needs to be in a healthy way, no sudden drop-ins, especially not with Linda. Understood, Rachel. I'll draft the visitation terms clearly. You're doing great, keeping things straightforward, my lawyer assured me. The frequent calls brought legal clarity but emotional complexity. While the community whispered, the louder voices of friends and family stood by us, supporting our small victories. One evening, Lily asked, "Mommy, why doesn't Daddy live with us anymore?" Her small face was puzzled as she played with her food. Sometimes people need a little space to remember how to love each other right. Daddy and I needed that space, I said, keeping my tone light and honest but shielded from harsher truths. Do you miss him? I miss who I thought he was, I admitted, not just to Lily but to myself. As the days grew colder, the first frost kissed the windows one morning as I dropped Lily off at school. While waiting at the gates, another mother, Mia, approached with a tentative smile. Rachel, it's been a while since we've had coffee together, hasn't it?
Yeah.
It's been hectic, I smiled back, appreciating the gesture. Thanks, Mia. I might take you up on that. Unexpected community support was a warm balm against the loneliness that sometimes seeped through the cracks of newfound independence. Back home, the phone rang. Tom's name flashed on the screen, a reminder of the thread still connecting us. Rachel, I've been thinking a lot about everything. I'm sorry for not standing by you, for everything with Linda. I didn't see it then, but I do now. Tom, sorry doesn't change what happened. It doesn't undo the decisions you made. Lily and I are moving forward. You should, too. I know. I just hope you find happiness. We already are, I said. Hanging up felt right. It wasn't about bitterness, it was about peace, about building a world where Lily and I could thrive. Watching Lily run across the playground later that day, her laughter mingling with the crisp air, my heart felt full. This journey had taught me the unyielding power of a mother's love and the strength in letting go. We're doing okay, aren't we, Lily? I whispered as she sprinted towards me, her arms wide. The best, she said, wrapping her small arms around me, her world secure in the circle of my embrace. And that wraps up our story, folks. Now here's a question for you all. If you were in Rachel's shoes, would you have given Tom a second chance if he sincerely tried to mend things, or do you believe some actions are too damaging to forgive? Dive into the comments and share your thoughts. Don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed the story, and subscribe to stay updated with more content like this. Your support means a lot.